The ballroom glittered with diamonds, laughter, and false smiles. Every chandelier sparkled like the stars had come to watch. It was the Croswell Corporation's annual charity gala, an event where New York's richest gathered to show off both their wealth and their hypocrisy. At the center of it all stood Aidan Croswell, the arrogant billionaire heir, and his wife, Zara Bennett Croswell, the woman everyone whispered about behind champagne glasses. "Beautiful, isn't she?" one socialite muttered. "But she doesn't fit." Aidan could have married anyone, why her? Because Zara was black, poised, and unapologetically herself in a world that preferred polished sameness. She'd met Aidan 5 years ago, back when he was just a spoiled CEO's son looking for fun. She'd been a quiet artist, painting murals in Harlem to pay rent. Their love had been electric, unlikely, and, for a while, real. Until his world swallowed him whole. Now, he treated her like a trophy that lost its shine. That night, the gala buzzed with media, investors, and the elite. Zara stood beside Aidan in a custom gold gown, her natural curls pinned in an elegant updo, her smile graceful but tight. "Try not to embarrass me tonight," Aidan whispered between his teeth. "These people actually matter." Zara turned her head slowly, eyes cold. "You mean unlike your wife?" He smirked, sipping champagne. "Don't start. You know how they talk." "Oh, I know exactly how you talk when I'm not around," she murmured. His jaw tensed, but he didn't answer. The music shifted, a microphone clicked on. The host announced, "Tonight's final toast will be made by none other than Mr. Aidan Croswell." Applause rippled. Aidan strode up, confidence dripping like cologne. Zara felt a chill. Something in his grin didn't sit right. Aidan tapped the mic. "Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. We're here to raise money for the Croswell Foundation, a dream my father built, and one I proudly continue." He paused for effect, then added casually, "Of course, I couldn't do it without my wife, though some might say she's more of an art project than a business partner." A few people laughed awkwardly. Zara froze. He couldn't be, doing this now. But Aidan kept going, his voice dripping arrogance. "She's been experimenting with painting again," he said mockingly. "Colorful stuff. Not really my taste, but who knows? Maybe one day her art will sell for more than a few $100." The laughter grew louder this time, ugly and cruel. Zara's vision blurred, but not from tears. Rage, cold, controlled, royal, pulsed through her. He wanted to humiliate her. Publicly. And that was his biggest mistake. Zara took a slow step forward, her heels clicking against the marble floor, echoing through the sudden silence. "May I?" she asked the host calmly. The man hesitated, then handed her the mic. Aidan chuckled nervously. "Zara, this isn't." She turned to face the crowd. "My husband's right. I have been painting again. In fact, I've been busy creating something very special." She glanced at Aidan, her gaze sharp enough to cut diamonds. "I just wasn't planning to unveil it tonight. But since my husband is so proud of my little hobby, why not?" She clapped her hands once. 2 men in black suits wheeled in a large canvas draped in silk. "Ladies and gentlemen," she said softly, "this piece is called The Face Behind the Empire." The cloth fell away. Gasps filled the room. The painting was a haunting, magnificent portrait of Aidan, half his face regal, half masked by money and greed, eyes cold and lifeless. The brushwork was masterful, bold, and unmistakably powerful. But that wasn't what stunned them. At the bottom of the canvas, in crisp signature, were the initials Z.B, and the Christie's logo watermark. Aidan blinked, confused. What is this?" Zara smiled coolly. "It was sold at Christie's last week for $4.8 million. All proceeds go to underprivileged art students in Harlem. Apparently, my little hobby is worth more than your last acquisition." The room erupted in shocked whispers. Cameras flashed. Aidan's face drained of color. You went to Christie's? Behind my back?" She tilted her head. "No, darling. I went beyond you. She turned to the crowd. What my husband didn't know is that the Crosswell Foundation has a new majority donor, me. I used the proceeds from my art to buy out your board's largest philanthropic share. So technically, she said sweetly, this event is mine. The crowd gasped again. The host looked stunned. Mrs. Crosswell, are you saying you? Yes, she said. Every dollar you've raised tonight will go toward the Bennett Creative Initiative, not just another Crosswell vanity project. A roar of applause followed. Reporters swarmed forward, snapping photos of her, not him. Aiden stood frozen, jaw clenched, humiliation dripping from every pore. Later, when the cameras moved on, he grabbed her arm. How could you do this to me? He hissed. Zara looked down at his hand until he let go. You tried to destroy me in front of them, she said evenly. But you forgot, I don't need your last name or your approval to shine. I am my grandmother's granddaughter. Eleanor Bennett, the woman who built the Bennett Foundation long before your family learned to spell the word charity. Aiden's mouth fell open. You're lying. No, she said softly, I'm reclaiming. She leaned closer. You wanted a wife you could control. What you got was a queen who owns the room. Then she turned, walking away as the guests parted for her like waves before a ship. As Zara stepped outside, cool air kissed her face. She looked up at the glittering skyline of New York, the city that had once laughed at her. Her phone buzzed with notifications. Headlines were already spreading. Black artist wife outsmarts billionaire husband in stunning gala twist. Zara Bennett Crosswell becomes top donor to Crosswell Foundation. She smiled to herself, sliding her phone away. Her driver opened the car door, but she paused, glancing back at the glowing ballroom. Through the glass, she saw Aiden standing alone, cameras ignoring him, the crowd fawning over her art instead. He'd wanted to humiliate her. Instead, he'd exposed his own emptiness. Zara whispered to herself, never underestimate a woman who knows her worth. And with that, she stepped into her car, leaving behind the man who'd mistaken silence for weakness, and taking with her the empire he never saw coming.